Hello, I'm Shane M. Nygaard, and welcome to another Astrology and Fairy Tales video, where we look at the intersection of astrology and fairy tales, those magical, enchanting, deep, and sometimes terrifying stories from childhood. For this video, we investigate journalist Ronan Farrow and the tale Jack and the Beanstalk. So as we turn the pages and enter the tale, we return to these familiar outlines, familiar from the intro if you watched it. And if not, please visit my introduction to astrology and fairy tales to get the overview of how we are approaching these. So the image, as you remember, tells us so much about the tale we will be telling here. And in this case, it is Jack and the Beanstalk, an English fairy tale, though apparently rooted in a group of stories classified as the boy who stole Ogre's treasure. And these stories could be traced back more than 5,000 years ago. Thank you, researchers at Durham University. This tale has certainly been around the block more than a few times, but the most familiar modern version is by Joseph Jacobs, which grew out of an earlier version, The Story of Jack Spriggins and the Enchanted Bean, from 1734. So, a young boy, Jack, sells the family cow in exchange for 5 magic beans. When he returns home, his mother is upset, throws the beans out the window, and sends Jack to bed. The next morning, Jack is amazed to discover a giant beanstalk has grown from where the beans fell. He climbs the beanstalk and discovers the home of 2 giants, one seen here. You may recognize the giant's famous fee, fi, fo, fum. Anyway, Jack climbs the beanstalk 3 times. The first time, stealing successfully the giant's bags of gold for his mother. The second, also successful, the giant's hen that lays golden eggs. The third time he attempts to steal the magic harp, but the harp cries out, awakening the giant, who follows Jack back down the beanstalk. In response, Jack grabs his axe, chops down the beanstalk, with the giant crashing to his death. So from this summary, we can start to see Jack as the very Mercury Gemini figure, as Jack's energy is that of the mercurial trickster, thief, and traitor. Mythically, this is also Greek Hermes and Roman Mercury, who both rule over trading. Think Mercury mercantile, thievery, and trickery. And we have the beanstalk, very Neptune Capricorn in a sort of enchanted cardinal earth sense. Cardinal signaling initiatory, i.e., the beans growing. And the beanstalk is also Jupiterian or Sagittarian in its larger than life size, aiming skyward. The giants, also very Jupiterian in his exaggerated size, but also Saturnian in the sense of his tyranny. So who do we know who might be a beanstalk climber? Let's plant some magic beans of our own and see how this tale grows in the natal chart of journalist Ronan Farrow, born December 19th, 1987 at 10:49 a.m. in Manhattan, New York, USA. Farrow is widely known for his investigative journalism into the sexual harassment and assault by Hollywood and media, giants Harvey Weinstein in particular, that helped bring the Me Too movement to national attention. Let's look at the pieces and the placements. In his natal chart as a whole, I'm immediately drawn visually to the top of the chart, the heights, so to speak, and that incredible Sagittarius stellium. Sag's glyph aiming upward, skyward, which is all about adventure and searching and exploring. Fire signs can often be larger than life, and Farrow's investigative journalism has definitely led him on some larger than life adventures. And this stellium in the 10th house speaks to the climb. The 10th house, sometimes referred to as highest potential, where you don't meet your highest potential in one giant leap, but more step by step by step, every day. The climb, like up the beanstalk, hand by hand, foot by foot. And for Pharaoh, his ninth house, Mars, Pluto in Scorpio, also suggests his climb is as deep as it is high, and his symbolic climb is found in his investigative journalism. Investigative journalism is about facts and reality. We see Saturn in this tightly conjunct stellium, Saturn representing cold, hard reality and Earth. It's what grounds us. In Pharaoh's chart, we can see Saturn as the facts that he gathers in his investigations. And remember, Saturn imagery includes the scythe, which cuts. The symbolism here is as Pharaoh gathered more and more facts for more and more articles, he was essentially climbing the beanstalk, getting ever closer to the giants. And later, the evidence became the cutting down of the beanstalk, imagining Saturn's scythe as the axe, symbolic of the evidence and guilty verdicts resulting in Weinstein and other Hollywood and media moguls, again, the giants, massive fall from their Hollywood heights, crashing to the ground. There is also symbolic gold in Pharaoh's adventure as well, as he received the Pulitzer Prize in journalism for public service for his journalism. And keeping it very real, this clip about the Hollywood and media giants. They had often gotten away with it for years, and for those they harassed, it seemed as if the perpetrators would never pay any consequences. Then came the report that detailed Harvey Weinstein's sexual assaults and harassment and his fall from Hollywood heights. A visual example with Farrow as Jack and Weinstein as the giant. And how does the climb begin? Again, in fairy tale world, we can never underestimate Neptune and its very enchanting, spellbinding quality. In the earth sign of Capricorn, cardinal earth, we can start to get the feel for enchanted earth, the beings that begin, think cardinal, the growth of the beanstalk to the sky. There's also another way to view the beanstalk in Pharaoh's chart with the second house Jupiter in Aries. The second house is known as rising up from the underworld, so from underground. Cardinal Aries begins new growth, and Jupiter expands the usual, making it larger than life. I don't know about you, but I've never seen a beanstalk rise up from underground and grow to the sky. I've actually never even seen a beanstalk, period, but you get my point. It just resonates so much with this Jupiter in the second house. And here's a little weird dynamic, a little visual of how I'm imagining it in Pharaoh's chart. Neptune in Capricorn is this enchanting the earth, the underground, with the notion of sect and the top half of the chart being visible above the ground and the bottom half being invisible below the ground, and how the enchanted beings in the earth rose up from the underworld, larger than life, and started the Sagittarius glyph pointing upward, growth toward the sky above. So, wrapping it up, in Ronan Farrow's natal chart and life, we see the fairy tale of Jack and the Beanstalk as a tale he has lived, come to life as his investigative journalism into Hollywood and media giants, sexual harassment, and abuse. His symbolic climbing a beanstalk, discovering the truth of the giants in their castles, eventually led to his chopping down the beanstalk with Saturnian evidence, not forgetting Saturn's scythe, and the oppressive giants crashing to the ground. So thank you for sticking with this additional episode in astrology and fairy tales. Look for more to come, and please check out my other videos on my channel. Thank you.